ready. See?
Hello, shooters, loaders, and casters. Welcome to the Friday night live stream for the Georgia Shooting Connection. We hope everybody's doing well. We got Georgia Boy 44 out there. Hey, brother, good to see you. Lots of folks out there. William C. Chapin, Andy, Ocean. But we'll get to that shortly. Let's go through the room. Kyle, how are you this evening?
I am doing great. It is Friday night. I do have to work tomorrow, which is a big in my book, but they're paying me overtime, so I'm good with that. I got a German Shepherd here that was ready to go live. She was giving the barks. She's like, "Let's do it, let's do it." Been a good week. It's not raining at the moment. Jamie, I think you got a pretty nice little storm a minute ago, or a couple of hours ago, maybe, because you get it before I do. But we're all good here. And that's a big ball. Where'd you find that ball?
3 o'clock. It was pouring down today, man.
Yeah, it was about 5 o'clock here. I'm working on a bunch of new things and figuring stuff out and talking with friends that are all on this chat and trying to figure out solutions to problems. It's just a great community, and I can't believe that I'm a part of it, and I'm so grateful for it. So let me see if I can get this right. Scotsman, what you got? Yeah, I'm making it the hard part on you. That's right.
Good to be here. It's been a couple weeks for me, I think, but good to be here. And yeah, I'm happy it's Friday, man. Heck yeah. So I'm ready to get this going. And with that, we'll just go straight down to Echo.
Oh, cheater.
I am just hanging out, and I'm getting an AR-15 ready for Sunday. We're going to go out and do some shooting. So I'm putting a brass catcher on it. I ordered a couple of these super nice. They're Tac Star. And basically, they're really nice brass catchers. They hold 120 rounds of 223. But the opening is as wide as the rectangular thing, so they'll work on 308, 6.5 Creedmoor, or AR-15, the small frame rifles.
So it's a little better than the Caldwell?
I haven't used the Caldwell. I got one of these about a year ago for my 458 SOCOM, and basically I had no issues with it. It's easy to get on and off. And I got two more, one for one of my patrol rifles, and then one for a 6.5 Grendel I'm going to be building here soon. So I've used them quite a bit, and I've had no issues with them whatsoever. And it's great not having to chase down brass.
Yes, it is. All right, pass it off. Pass the torch.
Okay. Has Squatch gone?
No, he's right there.
Go get it.
There you go, brother. It's the torch is passed.
No, yeah.
Wrong way.
There you got it. There you got it. It is Friday, and it's another good Friday. Spending some time with all you guys. Kyle, you said it perfect. We talk about this community. It's a pleasure to be part of it, and yeah, it's awesome. But this week, man, I've done a ton of brass prep. I've had my son down here decapping, and he's done about 2,000 9mm rounds. So that's pretty much going to wipe me out of primers when I get to reloading those. But we did a good event last weekend with my in-laws that snuck into town last Friday, Memorial Ride with them, and it was a good time. We swung by the range, and speaking with the owner over there is a good friend of mine. We went to school together. He's got like 255-gallon drums of brass he gave me, and he told me to come dig out his backstop, and I can have all the lead I want. So I asked him if he had any primers. He didn't have any, but it was all cool. So I'm going to go over there this week and hook up with him and get that. And maybe do a video. He's a good guy. He's got a good range, and he's a big 2A supporter. And yeah, I'd like to get the word out for him. But that's all I got, and I'm looking forward to the live stream. So, Jamie, it's all you, buddy.
So you're saying you need help?
Yes, come on up. We'll get this backstop dug out and get all this brass, and we'd be set for a while.
When are you going up? You doing it this weekend, or when are you doing it?
Any time, man. My work is so crazy right now. I'm actually working tomorrow. I'm not getting the OT like Kyle up there, but I'm hoping we can get a good cool weekend when he's not busy. He'd probably let us in there on a Sunday when they're closed if we needed to get it done. But yeah, a lot of brass, a lot of lead. And
yeah, I saw your post on Instagram. I was like, holy Lord.
Yeah, let me know, man. I don't have anything going on Sunday but the chat. That's it. So
yeah, we can do it whenever, man. He'll work with us. He's a good dude. Elite Preparedness is the range. So if any of you guys are out there, if you're in Ohio, check him out. His little rural town. He's been doing this for about 4 years now, and he's got a good business going. So Google him, Elite Preparedness. There you go.
Cool.
Very good, very good. So, hey, Thorzak, we was kind of wanting to wrap up our beginning reloading series tonight, and Georgia Boy asked where Chico is. Chico's going to be on hiatus for a little while. He's got some personal stuff going on, and he's going to be missing in action for hopefully a very few weeks. Last week and probably this week. So we're kind of expecting Sharonda to bounce in here at some point tonight to pretty much flaunt her evening activities in our face, which
wait, whoa. It's
so good.
Totally G environment.
It will be. Let's put it this way: it includes gasoline and water. So,
oh yes,
and potentially shotguns. So,
potentially a new shotgun.
Do what, Squat?
I said everything you're saying sounds good.
Yeah. Yeah, as long as it's good gasoline.
Oh, and Jamie, I meant to say this before. When I sent that this morning, I was sitting in a meeting with my boss and the shop foreman, and my phone was sitting there going ba-ding, 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 ba-ding. And my boss looked at me and said, "Can you do something about that?"
That's when you turn your phone off, Kyle. You know, iPhones need to restart every once in a while. You just need to turn the suckers off.
Y'all were going to town. Kevin looked at me and goes, "Can you do something about that?" I'm like, "Yes, sir. Got it."
There's Michael Signs. What's going on, brother? And I saw Jeremy Gunslinger earlier in the side chat.
It's been a minute since I heard from Michael Signs and Jeremy Gunslinger. Y'all both got my number. Hit me up.
Yeah. Now, Michael, you can't just come pop in and say, hey, and then be gone with yourself. So, Pastor, we may need you to kind of pick up the slack for Chico here for a couple of weeks if you're available.
That'd be good to have him on. He hasn't been on in a while.
Yeah. He has not been on in a while. And
it's been a hot minute, that's for sure.
It has. And I've been really wanting to go back to his church. Wonder what he would say if he got up on the pulpit to get ready to preach. And there sits me, Kyle, and Chico.
He might just have a come to Jesus moment.
Well, I tell you what happened is all of his parishioners will go running for the woods, especially if Scotsman came with us.
If I came with you, the place would probably go up in flames.
Oh Lord, Jamie, you got an invite.
Yeah.
What I want to know, Georgia boy, is there a Coleman factory outlet on your exit? Because I've almost got him narrowed down to where he is, and I'm just going to show up unannounced. Hey. I would never do that. Oh, it is off that exit. Okay. I would never do that, sir.
Well, see what you can do next week, Pastor. I'll talk to you during the week. I'll try to catch up with you about Thursday. So, one of the things we want to talk about tonight as we kind of wrap up the beginning reloading series, in particular, if there's anybody out there that has any questions about beginning type stuff, don't hesitate. Now would be a good time to ask your questions. Remember what we always say: the only stupid question is the one that you don't ask. Oh, Thorzak, you know we'll get you on when we can. There you go. Let's get that one up there. Somehow I get the feeling that if Thorzak was on here right now, he would not be talking about cooking.
I doubt it.
Yeah, I know, right, man?
Yeah,
I got it.
What I'm saying, I'm not going to surprise him.
Smith and Wesson, as y'all know, is one of my favorite firearm companies, and I think they're really, really shoot accurate. But I can't shoot my shield like the pastor does. No way I could hit a milk jug dead center from 50 yards. Not with my shield.
You're putting too much finger into it because it's such a small firearm.
It's that striker fire got you.
It is. Striker fire will get you every time, man. You give me a revolver, I can shoot it all day long. You give me a striker fire pistol, I'll miss it all day long.
I've seen him do it.
I've seen him do
Hey,
it.
look, guys, I didn't say I couldn't hit it with my 5.86. I'm just, ain't saying I could, but I ain't saying I couldn't.
Oh, you could. I know you could. Double action.
Like learning to shoot a double action, Jamie. Once you master that double action and then switch to striker fire, it's a whole new ball game. Just got to master it. Shoot it and shoot it, shoot it some more.
Well, the trick to mastering double action is shooting your gun enough to where you feel that sucker stage. Then it becomes a single action.
Yep, I just like the striker fire. You feel it hit that wall. You know how much creeps in your gun, and then just that break right there. I mean, that's what you got to do. It's just the same theory. Just
and then you shoot your chronograph.
Well, usually it takes you about 3,500 repetitions of the same action to gain muscle memory.
Yep.
Now, to change that action from, say, you learn a double, like I used to shoot NRA competition when I worked at a range back out of high school, and I shot 200 rounds of 357 Magnum, but 38 special reloads every week, and I shot another 200 rounds in Ipsing with my Colt Combat Commander 1911. And what it when I started shooting the Colt was back in the early 80s. This was the early 90s. So when I went to the revolver, even though I could shoot it more accurate in single action, I just couldn't master the trigger for a long time. And to overcome one muscle memory and adopt another, it takes 9,000 repetitive muscle movements. So it took me a while, but once I got it down, my Ruger GP100, I can pull that double action no matter how I hold it, and I can feel that action stop. And it becomes just like Jamie says, a single action. All that's left is the hammer to drop. And I can do that very rapidly. So I can literally, it's like shooting a double action, single action, just knowing where that trigger is going to break and that rotating of the cylinder stops.
I got it on video. I was when Chico shot my 586 when Scotsman was down and meeting up with us up at the range. I told Chico, I said, it'll stage for you, man, and it does. I can feel when it's fixing to break that double action, and I know Scotsman does the same thing.
Yeah, and when it gets to that point, literally, just start counting out loud to yourself. 1,000, 1,000. Just slowly squeeze that trigger, and it'll do everything you want it to.
So I have JCM 45 and Georgia Boy 44. I have indeed slugged a micro groove Marlin barrel. Slugging the barrel's not hard. Measuring the slug once you get it out of the gun, that's the tough part.
You still, and what's weird about that is the slug has it's different lands and grooves and everything. What I found a problem with is they're not exactly 180 degrees away from each other. You have to play with it. Whereas, let's say I'm not measuring right at the top to right at the bottom, because the micro groove barrel is kind of like, I don't want to say this, but it's kind of like a Glock. It's an oddball twist. You have to measure from the top of here to the top of just a little bit off of it. I mean, you can do it, but it's very tricky.
Mine and my 35 Remington slugged at 3.56, and it they had 12 grooves, and they are each 4 thousandths deep. So yeah, it took me longer to measure it than to actually, just beat a slug through the barrel. So Jason Stewart wanted us to explain the concept of the ladder load. Y'all want me to do that, or somebody want to?
Rock out, brother.
Okay. When a ladder load is a group of loads that you've loaded up for a particular firearm, where you move up in the charge weight a certain amount, and that certain amount is going to vary depending on what the average of the average charge is. I try to do it in like 10% increments. So if I'm like loading 223 and George Boy, don't make me forget what I'm talking about. If I'm doing 223, I'll move up in 0.3 grain increments. And if I'm doing 35 or whatever for 30-06, 270, maybe, and .35, I'll go 3 tenths or 4 tenths, and then 270 and 30-06. I'll typically go in half grain increments. And you're just and I do 5-shot groups, and I try to stay away from the very bottom, and I try to stay away from the very top. So that middle range of the but some powders you don't have that big a range to work in. You depending on the powder and the cartridge, particularly in handguns. But what you're doing is you're trying to find the powder charge that's going to shoot the most accurate. Once you get that, then you can start messing with the bullet jump, how far it is away or how close it is to the lands and grooves. In other words, how much free bore you're filling up, if at all. But yeah, I do 5-shot groups. Typically, I do 5-shot groups. I'll carry 25 to the range, and go at a different target. That's the reason I like those targets I got. Kyle makes fun of me for putting an extra red dot at the bottom.
No, I like it. I've never focused at all.
Yeah, we're going to put that on. Here you go, James. Just for you, buddy. And maybe we should put some cool jazz on. Play with that view. There's Lever Guns 50. What's up, buddy? Rollis said when we first were coming on, he said we better be extra funny tonight because he's had a long, hard week.
Well, okay. Let me go ahead and tell you this. Why do riot police show up early? Anyone?
I don't know why.
Well, it's simple. To beat the crowds. Sorry. Okay.
There's Eagle Eye. What's up, bud?
Hang on.
Yeah, that might help. But yeah, typically Oceans, I'll go half grain. 223, I'll go about 3 tenths.
If you're a scientist or scientific type and you start ladder testing, you can really go down this rabbit hole and trying to eliminate so many variables that you end up burning the barrel out anyways. But, just like you said, Jamie, like you do your ladder test with 223 and say you're using Varget or 748 or whatever. You go up in those increments and you see your accuracy, open and close, and you find that tight group. And you're like, okay, can I make this better? Then I start messing with how far I'm jumping the lands or my shoulder setback and all this. And then, by the time you're done with it, you've burned up 150 rounds to get marginal improvement. So it's a rabbit hole you can go down, but it's a methodical process, and the way you described it's exactly that. It's how far and how good you want to be. You can work through all that. If you got the other basics down, like your rest and your breathing and your trigger control and all that, you can really go down a rabbit hole, and it's a lot of fun. I wish I had more time to do it, and I admire the guys that get into it for sure.
You just learn so much about the cartridge, about your rifle, about your own reloading.
Yep.
Welcome, Mario.
I had some smooth jazz pulled up, but y'all started talking about guns again, so.
Yeah, I think that's what we're here to do.
I can bring it back up if I need to.
Well, just keep it handy.
It is. It's handy.
If Echo moves out of the way again, we'll put that fan up there and start playing that cool jazz. And everybody go to sleep.
Put on a little Chuck Mangione.
Come
Feels so
on, you
good.
go. Do it, so I can play this. Do it.
No, that's not cool, Jazz. I think a soprano saxophone has one purpose in life, and that is to have gas poured on it and set on fire.
That's elevator music, not jazz music.
Do you know that?
What the hell do you think elevator music is?
Oh Lord.
Oh yeah, it's a different Friday tonight, which is good. We need a different Friday. Let's just have fun. Let's cut up. It'll be all right. I got
better
to.
rein us in, Jamie.
Say that again.
You need to rein us in a hurry.
Jamie's like herding cats.
Yeah, it's like herding cats, man.
Hey, my cat follows me like a dog.
I had one of
I
them.
call her, she comes running. She did no bugging her. She's part golden retriever, I think.
Yep. I had one to play fetch and everything.
Yeah.
Else. Actually pee in a toilet. Come on, baby.
I want to address two videos that I watched this past week at work. One is Johnny's reloading bench on preparing to load 6mm arc. A 1 hour and 45-minute marathon of good stuff. And then I want to talk about Squatch's 5 mistakes beginning reloaders make. So, what was number one, Squatch?
Well, like I said, I was kind of going off the cuff there, but I can't remember what number one was. But I think if we just kind of go through the list there, but common mistakes reloaders make. I think my favorite one of all of those is the fishing for pet loads. It drives me crazy seeing guys taking advice from other guys they know nothing about. And as much as I love and respect all of you guys, you know, I may ask you, well, what do you think about this or what? But I would never say, Jamie, send me your recipe for this so I can reload it for my gun. Because maybe we don't have the same guns, but I think that's probably the one that scares me the most as far as reloading mistakes people make. And some people are going to argue with me on that, but I think it's a horrible thing to do is ask for other people's loads.
I would never argue with you on that. Me and Thorzax were on the phone last night. I'm like, do you think this is okay for a powder charge for this slug load? And he's like, oh yeah, you're fine. You can go all the way up to here. Did I go all the way up to there? No. He goes, you're well within what you need to be in the window. He goes, actually, you're on the low side of the window. And he's got a lot more experience than I do on it. And I was like, so it's okay to load up 5 or 10 of these and see how they shoot. He's like, oh yeah, you're golden. You can actually go up to here. I'm like, no, I'm not doing that because I can't find anything in a loading manual that says that. But he's got experience in it. So I'm starting on the very low side and I'll work up if I need to. What do you get loaded on? Right now it's 12 gauge slugs. Just saying. But yeah, we had a conversation and he wasn't giving me specific, recommendations. He was like, oh, you're well within where you need to be. But you're on the low side of it. I'm like, okay, I'm good with that. I'll start here and work up. And he's like, yep, that's what you need to do because I don't know your gun. And, so we were really good with that one. But that's the way the conversation needs to go,
Yeah, and that's exactly it. I mean, when I started casting for 9mm. It was the first one I started casting. I know Jamie's got a lot of casting experience, and I called him and I was like, this is the powders I got. I mean, what's your experience? And he pointed me, to some good reference material, and I went through all that, and I started low and worked my way up. But reaching out like, hey, where can I find information, or what book can I find this powder and this bullet or this cast bullet? That's the kind of stuff we need to be doing. We need to encourage people to do the research and the education on their own.
And if you can't find it in a book or anything like that, you can always reach out to the particular reloading company, and they'll help you out. They'll help you. They'll walk you through it, recommend maybe a book that you should buy that you don't have. They'll help you out one way or another.
Yeah, both the powder manufacturer will have load data available either over the phone or by book or email type of online type thing, and the bullet manufacturer as well. If you're buying name brand bullets like Hornady, Sierra, Spear, half a dozen others, they all have data available for those particular bullets, and they're more than happy to share that information with you and the starting data that you need to get going.
The Russians in the house, y'all straighten up. I know he's not Russian. I really like him.
You want to say hi to Drago?
Leverguns 50 made a pretty decent point too. He said he thinks sometimes beginning reloaders are too light on their powder charge, trying to be overly cautious, and that's as dangerous as an overcharge.
That's extremely dangerous. Yes.
Yeah. That's why if you're talking about loading for a semi-automatic, the AR-15 in particular, I recommend you pick up the Lyman modern sporting rifle manual. That Kyle's got one, so do I, because the starting charges for the 223 Remington can be very light compared to the operating pressures needed using the same powder. Starting charges for a 223 Remington may be down to 22, 23 grains of a Varget powder, and starting pressure for an AR-15 to function correctly is 25 grains by the Lyman data book. And then you can look, go ahead.
You can go to the Hodgson website, and there is a subsonic load for a 223. I think it's 4.3 grains of tight group. Go to the website, verify that. I think it's 4.3 grains of tight group for a subsonic 223. It will not cycle the rifle, but it does work, and it is subsonic. You can sit there in the backyard all day, and it sounds like a pellet gun. I actually broke the gun down, pulled the bolt out to make sure that the barrel was clear. And I was like, okay, I hit way low. But go with published data from the manufacturers or some data books or whatever you have. I can't stress that enough. Don't go with your buddy's sayings. And if you do go with your buddy's sayings, always start a little bit below what they said, because you don't know how it's going to work in your gun. And make sure that everything's working before you chamber the next round. So,
go ahead. Watch.
All right.
Pollard, I remember purple dot.
The other thing about getting your buddy's data or someone else's data is that you're really just selling yourself short of the experience and the learning the process of reloading. I mean, you might as well just go buy factory ammo if you're just going to take someone else's load data and crank them out. I mean, you're really selling yourself short of what you can actually achieve by reloading. I mean, the whole point of it, one, is obviously it's cheaper, but you can tailor rounds to your different firearms. You can, tailor rounds to what your purpose is, whether that's training or competition. I mean, that to me, that's the whole point of reloading, and the craft of reloading is being, kind of that, making those boutique rounds that are for you, and I think you're selling yourself short by copying someone else's recipe.
Yeah,
absolutely. You're the scientist. You got to decide for yourself. You got to play around with it, and it's a science. And technically, we're all scientists in a way, shape, or form. It's an experience. It's a fun experience, and playing around with it. Yeah, you're going to have some mistakes. It's going to happen, but that's all part of the learning curve. We're all learning. none of us here know it all. We'll never know it all.
If you don't have a wall of shame, you ain't been doing it right.
I got a bucket of shame.
But the other thing you got to bear in mind, what Squatch was saying about load data from buddies on the internet. You can have the same Remington 700 and 308 Winchester run out of the same production line, and the chambers can be cut within 10 thousandths of SAMI spec, and the barrels can be so much different just from those two rifles, that what one rifle shoots and handles fine, the other rifle may not. And the only way to figure that out is to kind of start low and work your way up. Not to mention, your buddy that might be giving you this load data may be at 7,000 feet above sea level. Where I'm here in Southwest Florida, I'm at sea level.
Yeah.
That plays a huge difference in the way the powder burns, the pressure curve, and the pressure spike. You can easily put yourself over max pressure by copying load data from out of your area.
And everything's different from gun to gun, whether it be the same manufacturer or lot number or what. I've got a couple of guys that I shoot with that both shoot 30-06 out of a Savage, because it's a economical gun, and they are dead nuts accurate if you spend the time to develop your load for it. Well, Johnny's sitting there at 250 meters in the same hole, and Jordan grabs his, and Jordan's a good shot. And he says, "Hey, Johnny, give me some of your rounds." And he fires a 3-shot group, and it's a 4-inch spread. So, I mean, all guns are not the same. You got to find out what your gun likes, especially in rifle.
The other
room.
Well, I think the other thing I talked about too was I'm pretty active on the Facebook groups and stuff, and I interact with a lot of people, and I see a lot of guys too that will, and this kind of goes in taking your pet load or your recipe, is they're pulling apart factory rounds and trying to mimic those, and they're measuring how many grains are in, and assuming that that's a commercially available powder, and they're trying to load up, for example, 9mm. They're measuring something with 6 grains and assuming it's tight group or something. We all know what would happen if that was the case, but the biggest point I think of all of this is factory or published load data, reference materials, and all that. And like I was talking about, pulling even YouTube videos. I mean, I'm not saying that I'm an expert or, we're all experts here, but, take what we're saying and the published load data and the reference material that you can find. And that's how you kind of pull it all together, and you make, good decisions and good theories, and that's just how you got to do it. You can't cut corners.
And that's really become apparent to me in my shotgun adventures, because a little goes a long way. And the more okay, stop. The more I go through my manuals, and the more I talk to certain people, and JCM's helped me out a lot on this. There's a little bit of leeway, but there's not that much, because you can have something that will occur in a shotgun that will not occur in a rifle or a pistol or something like that, and it could actually hurt you. Me and Dave have spent a couple of nights talking about it, and that goes back to what he was talking about. I'm on the low end, and I haven't even shot them yet. I haven't even figured out how to crimp them yet. I'm still working on that. I have to come up with a different way to roll crimp them, because the roll crimper that I have will not accept the end of the slug sticking out. So I'm going to have to get some cards to put over the top of it and roll crimp it down to the cards. Just little cardboard pieces, whatever, to hold it down. It's all an extreme learning game. And
what type of loading machine are you using for the shotgun shells?
it's a Texan that actually Ocean's 374 gave me.
Okay.
It works magnificent, but I'm using Russian-made Italian slugs that I'm casting myself. I'm throwing all kinds of variables in there, and I'm trying to just narrow it down. And to Dave, just to tell you, trimming off the end of the plastic to get rid of the roll crimp that I put on there last night, it's still not tight enough after I re-crimp it. I'm eating into the slug when I go to re-roll crimp it. So I gotta come up with some shot wads or shot cards to put on top of there, and just crimp to that to hold them down.
Hey, Kyle, are you using the Russian roll crimp?
Can you show them?
Actually, I am. Yes.
Okay.
Can you show them the slug, Kyle?
Sir?
Can you show them that slug?
Yeah. Give me a minute, and I will. I'm outside with letting the dog run around for a minute.
Okay. So, Mr. Pishner, we'll show you that slug as soon as we can.
Yep, I'll be with you in just a minute. Waiting on the dog to pee.
Is that a Sabo slug, Kyle, meant for a rifled barrel, or is that one that rides in a Sabo in a smooth bore?
It's a Sabo smooth bore slug.
Okay.
And I have not shot any of them. I'm still playing with it. I'm a beginner reloader when it comes to shotgun. I've got buckshot down. I've got bird shot down. Those are not a problem. But this is the roll crimping of a slug is something I just dove into, and Dave has been a huge help to me on this, and I can't thank him enough. Actually, we were on the phone last night for about an hour and a half, I think. But I can't thank him enough. But yeah, I'll be more than happy to show you everything. I went to the Reloaders Network and talked with Loads of Bacon on the phone, and he was like, "Is this what you want?" And I'm like, "Yeah, sure, sounds good." And next thing I know, I've got a huge package from the Reloaders Network, and I went through all of Thorzak's previous videos, found one where he's reloading these almost the exact slug, and not that is okay. Whatever. But I got a package from Bacon with all the tools and all that stuff, and I figured everything out. Was just trying to figure out the roll crimp process, because what I've got is some Federal high brass hulls that were slugs to begin with, so they were roll crimp to begin with, and I roll crimped it, and it had like all kinds of in play. I'm like, that's not good. So I took my chop saw that I used for making 300 blackout brass out of 223 brass and just cut the crimp off of it and tried to roll crimp it again. The in play is a lot less, but it's still just not there. So I gotta figure out how to crimp them. And I think the little shot cards are going to be my secret. I think I just take a little bit off the plastic, and then
Do those ride inside a wad?
oh, well, hang on a minute, and I'll show you about it. You ready to go in? I'm sorry, I'm talking to my dog. Come on. Come on. Hello. Come on. Oh, be right back. Here we go. All right. Let me get back to the reloading room. Hang on a minute. You've already eaten. Don't try to pull that on me. All right. Okay. Here's what I'm starting out with. And I actually have all the components right here in front of me. Starting out with a shotgun wad that has been roll crimped. It was a rifled slug, high brass, 2 3/4 inch. Now, these are the slugs that I cast up and seeded the wad. They're kind of special for these slugs. So I got like a fire hydrant sitting on top of a piece of plastic. They fit very tight into the case. I'm totally happy with that. This is what I wound up with tonight after I used my saw to take off the roll crimp that I put on there previously, but it's still, can you hear that? There's a little bit of rattle room there. And as you can see, I kind of got into the slug nose, just barely.
Yeah, I'd worry about that getting set back.
So then the question becomes, is it okay? Does that matter, Dave Thorzax?
I would think that matters. I would say, and me doing gear work for the last 30 years of my life, I would say there's about 6 or 7 thousandths there play between where it sits right now and where it sits right here. The wad seats so tightly that I've lost no powder, but I just don't feel comfortable shooting that.
There's probably a chance when you cut that old crimp off that I don't know exactly how a hull of a shotgun is, but I know when I shoot them, it seems that the actual end of the shotgun shell, when the crimp undoes to let go of the plastic wad and the shot, that it's like it leaves a weird kind of bend in the plastic. And if you remove that,
it does. Here it is.
Is that an empty?
This is an empty, yes. Totally not even reprimed yet. And this is what I came up with. Same holes, same I'm sorry, I'm trying to move everything around what you're doing. And like what Julio just said, I think I'm going to get a loss of pressure if that thing's sitting in there loose. I got to figure out either a new way to crimp it, which kind of pisses me off that I got this crimper over here that is not going to work for the mold that I bought. But because it's got one heck of a point on it, you know. So, but I've still got, I don't know, about 6,000 or 7,000. So I've got it really close, but I can't get it any tighter. So I'm going to have to come up with something else to do there. And like I say, me and Dave were on the phone for an hour and a half last night before he went to work. And please check your hole. For what?
It's great some of you guys have some experience with shotgun because I have no clue.
That's what I was thinking, single shot. Get some of them shot cards and put them under the hull or on top of the hull. I think with the crimper that I have, it needs to be on top of the hull, holding it back instead of pushing it up.
So they're also talking about neck turning devices for rifle. Willie uses a Foster. Everybody else seems to use RCBS. And Kenny had to take off because the kids were. He said the kids were wanting a butt whooping, so he'll have to watch the replay. But I hate you had to go, Kenny, when you're watching this tomorrow sometimes. But he uses the Sinclair, and I think it's pretty dang expensive.
Oh, Floyd, yeah, I got you there. I'm not sure if these are tapered wall hulls. They're federal rifled slug hulls. But from what I understand, on these Russian wads, it really doesn't matter. They'll work in anything. I'm just trying to figure out a way to crimp them. I think I've got the wrong crimping apparatus, and I might need to get the one that goes in the end of a drill.
Yeah.
Hey, the problem is, are you talking about the shotgun shells again, or still?
I was trying to.
Okay. I have a buddy. The only reason why I'm asking is because if you're talking about turning rifle brass in the end of a chuck of a drill, I'm going to say that is a horrible idea. The drill usually
I was talking about a roll crimper with actually a deeper throat.
Yes, you can actually get those. And my buddy Dead Horse,
right?
That's how I know a little bit about shotgun reloading. He's been doing it a while, and he's been messing around with different slugs and whatnot, and different crimping tools. And I know he uses one that goes in a drill and 4 slugs. So, and he says he's had really good luck with it, and it makes a beautiful factory looking crimp.
Well, I've got a beautiful crimp. It's just, this is gorgeous. That's a beautiful crimp. It's just not next to the bullet.
Right.
Which I can say that because it's a slug. It is a bullet.
Okay. Since Chico ain't here, I'm falling down on the job. So let me go through the side chat. We got James Pollard, Jason Stewart, JCM45, G. Pishner, Georgia Boy 44, GGW Reloading 6-shooter Texan, Ocean 374 single shot, JCM 45, Jerry 1911. We have Two Gun Kitty the Catnip Outlaw. Welcome in. Thorzax Dave, welcome, brother. Floyd Hicks, GGW Reloading again. Willie Bullet Man, my brother. Cranky Cletus, what's up, Cranky? Broke Loader, I was powder coating those bullets you sent me today. You sent them a while back. I just now got around to powder coating them, and they're going in some 357 Magnum shells and maybe some 350 Legend. And I like the exchange about turning necks. Dead Horse says mini skirts have always worked for him. We got Dead Horse out there. James Pollard again. Squatch Reloading is in the room. Big Al, he'll be back hopefully. GGW again. Single shot again. He's already back though. 6-shooter Texan. Andy 79Z28. And he's stressing the point. I've seen him make this comment more than once tonight that if you have zinc bullets, they work great after you shoot lead to get any potential leading out. Also, Paul Lloyd's out there, Georgia Boy 44. He said just get a manual way back when we were talking about asking people for their pet loads. And you should consult your manual before you go to buy powders and stuff. Make sure you have data for what you're going to go get. There's MCK, JCM 45 again, single shot, broke loader, Big Al, Lever Guns 50. Welcome in, brother. Dead Horse again. And I am back to Duck You.
Well,
I ain't saying anything ugly. Seriously, Duck You is in the side chat. James Pollard again. And broke loader. Let me go back down to the bottom. Reloader 762. There's a good question for y'all. It definitely affects powder coating when we're powder coating our bullet.
It definitely affects gunpowders too.
Mm-hmm.
I think so.
What?
Humidity.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I'm in Southwest Florida, and even with the air conditioning, it's relatively 60% relative humidity in my house. And that's like super high. I've got to keep all my presses, my vise, anything that's not stainless steel or painted. It's got to be wiped down with oil once a month. I got to use special humidity things for my dyes and my rifles and handguns. It's a extra burden. It is.
Echo, that's actually very dry for where me and Jamie are.
And Charles,
No. That's inside with the air conditioning. Right now, I'm at 92% relative humidity. And it was overcast before the night before it came in.
I understand, but Jamie can attest to what I'm saying. With my AC running, I'm still at like 75% humidity. Temperature's fine. It's just humid as hell.
So Two Gun Kitty, the Catnip Outlaw, has a 550. So. And we also have Charles Irby joining us. So welcome in, Charlie.
Yeah, were we gonna have Squatch go over the Dylan 750 that he uses? Kind of give people an idea of what they're getting into if they're looking to purchase a progressive press.
We can do that if we got time. We got about an hour left.
Okay.
But I think maybe what we need to do is maybe have a workshop on a Saturday, and I can do either one of the turrets, or I can do the Lee progressive press. I've got the we call it the what do they call that thing?
The 4-hole classic.
The breech lock.
Breech Lock Pro. Yeah.
Yeah.
And Reloader 762. What press did you order, brother? You said it was the first press you've ordered in 35 years.
Oh wow.
Georgia boy been watching reruns again.
Looks like I took a wrong turn in Albuquerque.
So Two Gun Kitty is changing from the Lee turret to a Dillon 550. You're going to see a world of difference
Can't go wrong.
with either one of those. Both of those are great presses.
I love mine. I can show off a load master. I actually need to load some 9mm, so that'll be fun.
Man, I've been doing some 223 on my Lee Classic turret, and I've been full length sizing without the decapping ball, and then trimming the case, chamfering and deburring it, and using a Sinclair expander die with a 22 caliber die expanding mandrel. And I've been getting less than 1,000th of run out in my neck, and it is unbelievable. I just can't. And this is plinking ammo that is mixed head stamp.
And you're getting how much run out?
Less than 1,000th.
Wow. And that's with the Lee 4-hole classic turret press?
Yes, sir.
Wow.
Yeah, because I'm getting about 1,000th, sometimes a little more on the fired case once it's been fired before resizing, and you measure the run out in the neck. So I'm getting, sometimes anywhere between 1,000th to about 2,000th. Then I full length size it without the expanding ball, chamfer deburr it, and then first trim it, chamfer deburr it, and then I expand it. And basically I'm getting anywhere from nothing to 1,000th run out max. So if you're looking at it like they say to, it's plus or minus a 0.5 at max. A lot of times the gauge just barely moves.
That's pretty cool. So Thorzax likes the idea of a live stream workshop, maybe on a Saturday afternoon.
Well,
Sounds good.
Tomorrow, so it's going to have to be late or later, anytime after probably 5 or 6. But
there's the question for you, Echo. Dead Horse said, did Echo just admit his Lee press is better than his Foster?
No, I'm just saying the thing is, for small rifle brass, like 223 or 300 blackout, I like the turret press because you can put a bunch of dies in it. And because of the way the turret press is designed, when you push up on it and you get in most turret presses, you'll get one side tilt down. And in the good turret presses, they'll have that calculated in with a stop. Like on the T7, it has a stop so that when it stops, it doesn't throw, 10,000th or 12,000th deflection. With the way Lee got rid of deflection is the whole turret itself rises up. And once it rises up, it hits stops. So that makes it a dead stop so that it doesn't deflect one way or the other. As long as you're raising that turret and bringing the play out of that, it just rises straight, and it's a 90 degrees to the shell holder.
Yeah, I've noticed that in my Lee turret that it seems like that whole turret rises rather than it tilting one way or another.
Yeah.
And this turret press right here, the Redding, thanks to Squatch, I have that. I haven't noticed very much. I know that it flexes this way a little bit from front to back, but it doesn't look like it's very much. It's barely noticeable at all.
Right. If you shine a light back at yourself from the other side of the back of the turret, as you come up on a full-length sizing die, you'll notice you'll see light and then you won't. But they've calculated in with that shim that's custom to each turret head that deflection zeros the press. So that you need to make sure when you're setting your dies up that once you make contact, you're actually engaging the cam over so that you make contact and then you go a quarter turn more, clockwise, bringing the die body lower. You do that quarter turn, you bring up that press handle and go into your cam over, and then you set your lock ring. And that makes sure that die gets locked with the top of that shell holder being flush from front to back all the way around. And that way you keep it square.
Yeah, exactly. On that T7, that head flex or that turret flex is completely by design. And when you're setting up your sizing die, I know a lot of people say cam over. I call it preload. Is I'm preloading the press with that deflection where it's bottoming out on the backside of that turret, and that's zero. That's datum 0, and then you adjust your preload and then your sizing die based off all of that. And that's sometimes. That's why I don't like using Dillon dies specifically on the turret, because they're not really set up for being preloaded or cammed over. But that's exactly why the turret's set up, or the T7 specifically set up that way. And if Mario up a few comments ago asked about, is the Dillon 550B or the 550C worth buying from a budget standpoint? And I'm going to say that the Dillon 550, in my opinion, is an absolute, if you're wanting entry-level progressive, again, keep in mind it's manually indexed, but that press is so versatile. You can use it as a full-fledged progressive. You can use it as a single stage. I mean, it is a perfect, as far as Dillon presses go, I love my XL 750, but the 550 is by far, I think, the best press Dillon makes. And I'll probably get flamed for saying that, but you can do so much with that press. You can put a case feeder on it if you want to. It has a decent capacity as far as how fast you can reload. You can reload precision on it. I reload 308 and rifle ammo on the 550, and you can do it quickly. And it's totally worth. If you're looking at budget progressive and you want to step up into the blue Kool-Aid, I'm not saying the blue Kool-Aid's the way to go. I don't get into all that, but the 550, man, that is is an underrated press, and I think it's a great press, and you're not wasting your money going that route for sure.
So that's very good stuff, man. But 6-shooter Texan, where do you get these custom Lee turrets? Are you making them yourself? I think he is, because he's making his own bullet dies, so surely he can make a turret.
Yeah. Yeah, with like what Squatch was saying, the 550, it may not have the automated where it indexes automatically, but it also gives the least amount of deflection out of all the Dillon presses. So it's capable of precision ammunition. And one of the 6.5 guys uses it to reload all his PRS ammunition, and he's been using it for years and loves it, and gets, under 1,000, 1,500th run out in his cartridge cases, and is able to load at a little bit quicker pace than guys with a single stage.
Yeah, so 6-shooter, when are these bullet dies, bullet molds, and Lee turrets going to be for sale, man? You have to come on here on our show and talk about them. So yeah,
I think I asked him about ordering a couple of them, and he said he's only doing it for himself. So I don't know if he's gonna make them, or maybe he's changed his mind, or. They looked like they were top shelf quality. That's what interests me. The machining was absolutely gorgeous on it.
Well, we got
Why'd my head get so big all of a sudden?
Yeah, me too, man. Let me see if I can change that. Is that better?
Yeah.
Yeah, I hear you. It's the wrong time of the year to be talking about blue and progressive and saying good things.
Let's wait till November 4th.
Yeah. Yeah, you guys are rocking it out. So we got Kyle had to go. He's got a family thing going on. So we'll I'm gonna send a couple of invites. Scotsman said he would be back, so we'll wait around on him. So while I'm doing this, can you talk about some more of those points in your video?
Yeah, actually, we had a good discussion going earlier tonight when we're talking about new reloaders, and a lot of times, and new reloaders, and I'm going to steal one of the comments from my video. Walter Bunning brought up a great point, and if you guys don't know who that is, just search him out on YouTube. He's got all kinds of cool videos, and he's around on the 76 Highboy live streams, and so. He brought up a good point. Is a lot of times people will buy equipment that they hear us talking about, or they're watching, like, for example, someone will hear, well, I got to get an XL 750 or a Mark 7 because that's who so-and-so is using, and they're on YouTube or whatever. But when it comes to picking out your first press, and opinions vary on this so much, I'm kind of the advocate is get what you can afford to what you're comfortable with. So you need to really do an assessment of what your goals are as far as reloading. Do you want to just mass produce ammunition, or are you looking to make precision ammunition or custom loads and all that? And then the other aspect of that is really assess what your skill set is. Are you mechanically inclined, and so on? Those are factors that you need to think about when purchasing equipment. Because I can tell you, looking at my RCBS rock chuck over there, it's pretty simple. It's one lever up and down. That's it. I'm putting shell holders in and dies. So that's pretty simple to use. Jumping into a progressive like, say the XL 750, where you're talking about conversion kits and case feeders and, different adapters to do different cartridges. It's a lot more complex. So, I mean, that's where you got to kind of assess what your actual skills are, what your goals are, before you jump into that. And, I kind of adhere to the old school mentality a little bit, because my background, my mentor was my grandfather, and he used a Pacific Sea press that I still have. And when he taught me, he was very meticulous about setting up dies each and every time. And I see the benefits of that using a single stage. So I always try to steer people in that direction, but I wouldn't tell someone, no, don't jump into progressive if your skill set warrants that and you have the budget and the skills and the knowledge, and that's where your goal is going to be. Then jump into it. But those are things that I think a lot of new reloaders get intimidated by, and a lot of new reloaders get bad information or bad advice. They get into something that that's beyond what their capabilities are at the time. So I would like to hear what the rest of you think about that, but that's kind of where I sit on it.
I like what Charlie said about having a mentor and learning hands-on like you did. Mm-hmm. And that wasn't an option for me. Nobody I knew reloaded at the time. Me and a buddy went and got into it at the same time. We went to a class, and we sat through two of them, the beginner and the advanced. But by then, I'd been reloading probably a year and a half, 2 years at that point. The first cartridge I reloaded was 30-06, and when you go and you go shoot 30-06 for your first reload, yeah, it's a little bit nerve-wracking. What's up, Mark? There he is. Can you hear me now? Hello, Mark. Anyway, y'all welcome MCK. There you go, Georgia boy.
I would love to hear what Echo's first cartridge was he reloads. I know I've seen him on live streams talking about 223 and AR platforms, and he's got so much knowledge. I'd love to know where he started out.
458 SOCOM. That I was spending $300 every time I would go to the range on black butterfly, high quality ammo, 458 SOCOM. I built a SOCOM using Tony over at Tromex's parts. I've talked to Tony many occasions. He's a very nice guy, and he gives you a lot of information, anything you want to know. He actually was the original designer of the 458 SOCOM rifle to fire the cartridge that a young man had designed for it. And I cannot remember his name, and even if I did, it's a Asian name, and I would murder it. But the guy is, you can find it on Google, that designed the cartridge. Basically, I was spending so much money, I was like, there's got to be a cheaper way. I guess I'll get into this reloading thing. And at the time, me and my friend Dead Horse were hanging out doing live streams and whatnot. And he's like, well, dude, I could show you how, and we can get into it relatively cheap with a Lee turret press. So I got a Lee turret press. I got some 458 SOCOM dies, and I started reloading for it. And I taken them to the range and popping them off. And basically, I just got a smile on my face as I shot, because I was like, this is so less expensive. And it was just because that was a boutique round. It's a specialty round. So if you order any type of ammunition for that caliber, you're going to pay through the nose. It's a large caliber bullet, heavy, and basically hits like a Mack truck. But it saved me quite a bit of money, because I kept all my brass from all the weeks gone by shooting Black Butterfly, and they use Starline brass. So I kind of lucked out, and that's how I got started. Most people do pistol. I went right to rifle, because I figured if I could do rifle, then I could probably do anything else.
So we got a lot of guys starting with 38 Special and 357 Magnum. 45 ACP was Thorzak's second cartridge. There's Andre. He said his was 30-06 also.
That was mine.
For the M1 Garand.
For the Grand, yes, sir.
Mark, are you able to talk to us now?
Hey, Willie.
I think so.
Yeah.
Oh, is it coming through okay?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay. My internet's sporadic, but I'm here.
6-shooter Texans 303 British. This is very interesting to me. AR guns. Yeah. How could we not guess that from you, buddy?
You just got to use Cranky's favorite powder, Varget, all day long in the 223 Cranky. Sorry.
I actually started out on 38 Special myself for an old Charter Arms 357 Magnum that I reloaded 38s for, then worked into 22-250 for I think it was an old rifle I had. That's where I started for myself, other than what I'd done with my mentor there. But straight wall cartridge was my first one.
Yeah, you guys that are just starting out, I highly recommend a straight wall pistol cartridge.
Get a book first. Get a book and do some reading. Get a mentor, like Mr. Irby said.
Well, that was what, Willie, that's what Squatch was saying on his video today. The first part of the reloading manual is the ins and outs of reloading. It's pretty much step by step how to do it.
And that was a great video.
There's MCK's entry. Charlie was 38 Special and 45 Colt. Just them for years. So there you go. If y'all have any questions on 38 Special or 45 Colt, Charlie's on Discord. He ain't hard to find. So go over there and hit him up, and he loves helping folks. Appalachian Reloader 308 and 22-250. JCM, he had a Charter Arms snubby too. I know, right, Cranky? That stuff ain't cheap. And Georgia boy, I have never used Varget either.
I love Varget.
Love Varget. For 223, love it. Never done it in 308 and 06. I've heard a lot of people say they enjoy it, but I've never done it.
I've used it in 30-06, with great performance. With lighter weight cartridges, or lighter weight bullets rather. I've used it in 7mm Mauser, 8mm Mauser, 308 Winchester, 223 Remington, and 6.5 Creedmoor. Well, I haven't, but another person has that I know very well.
So I think Mario is referring to MCK as Andy Gibb. And 9mm does have its challenges, and that's one of the reasons I recommend stuff like 38 Special, like Ghost Rider, and 40 Smith and Wesson. I think it's slightly wow.
The problem with the 9mm cartridge is it's got a slight taper to it.
It does.
And that, when you're learning how to seat and crimp, can drive you nuts after about the 5th cartridge casing you destroy.
Signal Soldier, I've never used Varget, but I agree with the H4895. I love that stuff. I love the IMR 4895.
I second that. I use that myself.
As a matter of fact, I think I like the IMR better than the Hodgkins.
I've never used the Hodgkins. I've used the IMR, and it's spot on.
Well, that's the powder that was created for 30-06.
Yeah, and I even used the 4064 IMR.
I love that stuff too. I've got some great groups in 270 and 30-06 with 4064.
Yeah. It works good in the 30-06 for my buddy's rifle.
Okay, let's go around the room right quick and what all rifle do you load, Squatch?
I do 308, 223 mainly. That's probably the biggest volume of rifle stuff that I do. And 22 250. That's kind of my varmint round. But I've been wanting to get into like 25-06. That's kind of one of those rounds that's always intrigued me. And then of course the 6.5 Creedmoor, and I'm really digging the guys doing the 6mm arc stuff. That's something probably in my future if I build another rifle. But that's a great comment there that Thorsat put up.
Yeah, absolutely.
You can buy all of the gadgets and gizmos, scopes, presses, do precision ammo, but if you don't know how to pull a trigger, for example, doesn't mean you're going to be an accurate shooter. But yeah, that's kind of where I'm at on rifle stuff right now.
Yeah, but hopefully through reloading, you'll be able to manufacture more ammo. I get this question all the time. Does it save you money? Yes, it does. On certain rounds, it saves you considerable on certain, specialty rounds. But for bulk ammo, you can do 223 Remington fairly reasonable, 9mm fairly reasonable. When you start getting into cartridges like your 35 Remingtons, your 338s, anything that's a high grain weight, the bullet cost goes up. The amount of powder you use goes up, so the cost of powder is higher. The brass is higher to buy. And if it's a specialty round, chances are you're not going to find it on the range where you may pick up a few extra cases here and there. So basically, it allows you to shoot more. And in certain calibers, yes, it does save you a little bit more money.
Yeah, like for me, reloading 9mm, the main reason I reloaded it because I got brass for free, and the cost per round was still cheaper than I could buy by the 1,000. But I just saw it was a couple of days ago. They're getting $380, $400 $1,000 for 9mm right now in this craziness that's going on. So reloading 9mm, if you got primers and you got brass, man, you're going to save a ton of money if you shoot a lot.
Yeah, I think Midway just sent me an email today saying 1,000 223 rounds were like $1,500 roughly. It's just, and I'm sure people are going to buy it, but I'm thinking you're a dumbass to spend that much money on that, in my eyes.
I got a couple of thousand pieces of brass here washed, ready for. I'm just working my way through it, slow and steady.
Paul Lloyd, you got a new caliber on me, 25-35. I'm not familiar with that one. But one of the reasons I started hunting again heavy back in 2012, and I was hunting with my 35 Remington. And when I went and bought ammo, and it was like $33.90-something for 20 rounds. I mean, that's the reason I got into reloading. I ain't gonna lie to y'all. And then I got a 30-06 because it was so much cheaper to shoot with factory loads. And then I realized that I can make 30-06 twice as good. And the 35 Remington, y'all seen what I've done with it. And there's an interesting fact for you. 1,556 right now on the internet's going for what, $560? No, $600. That's ridiculous.
Let's see if I can
That
bring
is
up the.
ridiculous. When it was $325 to $345, just what, eight months ago?
Yeah.
Where's the trash? I'm trying to find that
It is,
email
Charlie.
they sent me.
The thing about it is if you're set up and been reloading for a good while, stuff like what we're going through right now should barely make you blink your eye.
If we can find primers. That's the
I
thing.
was lucky.
No, listen to what I said. If you've been doing it for a while,
Oh, yeah, I got you.
You should have at least 500 rounds loaded up for every firearm you've got, and then another 1,000 to 2,000 of each kind of primers that you may need. And this should just barely be a blip on your radar. There's your question, Squatch. When reloading 9mm, do you resize the brass due to so many people shoot Glock?
I was just typing that up for Battle Bean there, but in 9mm, if you got a quality sizing die, I haven't had any issues with 9mm, and I've literally shot tens of thousands of reloaded 9mm. Some of it definitely from Glocks because of range pickup. And I think another myth is that all Glocks have this unsupported chamber and it causes bulges and so on. And there's other firearms that do this as well. Some of your lower end guns also will have an unsupported chamber at the 6 o'clock position right above your feed ramp. But where you really run into problems is your higher pressure rounds, like your 40 cal, 357 SIG, and 10mm. Those are very popular Glock cartridges, and they are very prevalent to what they call the Glock smile or the bulge. So any of those bigger calibers like 40, again, 357 SIG or 10mm, I run those through a full push-through sizing die. And the reason it causes a problem is your sizing die can't come all the way down the full length of the cartridge. So what happens is where that bulge area is, it'll create like a crease on one side of the cartridge. And I've got a couple of videos on that. If you guys are real curious about it, check those out. But a full-length sizing die really will, and opinions vary on this as well, will correct or resize that cartridge fully. And I've had plenty of success using like the GRX die from Redding, the Lee Bulge Buster. I don't even know. I think maybe lead. I don't even know if they make one for the 9mm. I don't think it's as common. I think it's
You have to use the Makarov, they say, but
the
and
9mm.
I didn't mean to cut you off, but I religiously reload my Glock case 9mm cases, and I've never had a smile crack or blow a bottom case, a case head separation, and I'll get 10, 11 firings on my own brass out of my Glock, polygon barrel, and never have a problem. 40s, oh, absolutely. 45s, absolutely, but not the 9. I haven't seen it. Maybe someone has, but I haven't come across the problem. And I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No problem. Like I said, I have never ran into it with 9mm, and I don't know that the pressures are that significant. I mean, they're obviously great in a 9mm, but not like the 40 cal or the 357 SIG. 357 SIG is probably the worst culprit in my opinion, at least what I've seen.
Yes.
But and I run through, for example, if I typically will check first before I size, but in my 10mm range pickup stuff and stuff I've bought from Capital Cartridge or any of those range suppliers, I would say it's pretty low, maybe in the 3 to 5, 7%, area. But 357 SIG, and that's really a Glock cartridge. I mean, I shouldn't say that, but it's a lot of Glock owners shoot 357 SIG. That's what I think it was either the FBI or somebody in the government had released that cartridge for that gun, and that one's prevalent, but you can still work through it.
Yeah, it's a high pressure round too. So
Well, yeah, it's a bottleneck cartridge more or less. It's a 40 caliber cartridge dropped down to a 357 projectile.
Yeah, and I think someone hit in the side chat. I think in Glocks it was really probably more prevalent in the earlier gens, like the Gen 1 and 2, and I think by Gen 4 and 5 it's pretty much not nearly as bad as it was.
I got lucky then, because I have a Gen 2 Glock 34, and I haven't had any problems with it. And I went out and bought an Alpha Wolf barrel because everyone said, oh, if you shoot lead out of your Glock barrel, you're going to blow your gun up, and blah, blah, blah. I spent $150 on a barrel that's just sitting right now because the Glock barrel shoots perfectly fine lead all day long.
Yeah, I think the difference in the rifling is that the I can't pronounce it, but
Polygonal.
Yeah, there you go. The only thing that I will note is I see when shooting a stock Glock barrel, I will see it does burn a little dirtier, and it's probably because it's oversized a little bit. And I shooting my powder coat and cast bullets, I'll see a little bit of leading in there, but I'll shoot some jacketed through it when I'm done shooting, and it cleans it right up.
I do the zinc right afterwards, and it just takes everything out.
Yeah, it makes life a lot easier. So
it does.
I wouldn't deter anyone to not shoot, cast, and powder coat through Glocks. I mean, I've done it, and it's very doable. And the bulge in the 9mm I think is very minimal. And I think if you do any good inspections, if you do find one that's a freak that you found in a Gen 1 or something, you're going to see it when you size it. If you're doing any kind of inspections, and you should be doing those anyways.
The only thing I'd say is if you shoot, like, say, 500 to 1,000 rounds of your factory Glock barrel, clean it really good, before you start popping jacketed rounds after it. You're going to start spiking your pressure up. No one wants to pop primers and hurt a gun. So just make sure you scrub your barrel out real good.
And that's whether or not you're reloading or you're shooting factory. Clean your firearm. Mm-hmm. That's just a given. If you don't know how to do it, there's a lot of guys on here with videos that show you how to do it. Routine maintenance on your firearm should be on the top 10 things you do.
Yeah, so we were talking about what all rifle cartridges we reload.
You could be right, Dead Horse. Sorry, Jamie. I'm reading the side chat.
So,
who are we on?
Squatch told us, Mark, you ain't said much. You go next.
What rifle? 30-06, 44 mag for a rifle. I don't have a pistol. And 7.62 by 39. 300 blackout's also a pistol, but I use a 7-inch barrel for that. 7.62 by 54, and 8mm Mauser, which I haven't got into very heavily yet. So those are the rifle ones. I have a 223 single shot as well, and I haven't done that for a while, and my AR is gone, so can't say that I reload for that right now either.
What happened to your AR, Mark?
My son snatched it.
Good reason. That's why you build more.
Right. He fell in love with it. It's got the A2, kind of a look-alike A2 situation, so he fell in love with that and asked for it, and I said, here you go. Yeah, that's it for me.
Willie, what kind of rifle cartridges do you load?
223, course 5.56. Same case. 06, 27. Oh no, let me take that back. Don't have that. 257 Ackley. 350 Legend, which is more of a pistol cartridge, on steroids. What else? 308, 30-06 again. And I used to do 25-06 and 270, but I don't do those anymore. But the fun one is the 257 Ackley. That's the fun one. That's my barn burner.
And that's just a 257 Roberts with the Ackley improved chamber.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. And the damn thing is, when I bought the rifle from the guy, it says, Roberts on the barrel. And next thing you know, I'm shooting it, realizing it's, hey, we got a problem here. They don't look the same after you resize it. So found out it's an Ackley chamber. But it sure will pop a coyote at 400 yards.
I reload.
Walter.
Oh. What were you saying?
I was just saying hey to Walter. Coach Brothers Firearms popped in.
Oh. I see Jamie appear from the dark. Like he's got his picture muted, and then it's like, hey Walter, and he like comes on. I was like, man behind the mask.
Yeah, you never know what's going to happen next around here on a Friday night, do you?
Yeah, I reload 223 Remington, 300 AAC Blackout, 30-06, 7mm Mauser, 8mm Mauser, 308 Winchester. I do a lot of precision work in that. Let's see, 458 SOCOM. I think that's it. Oh, 380 auto, 9mm, and 45 ACP.
Those are rifle cartridges now?
Those are all handgun. Those are all the handgun cartridges I reload.
I was going to say, what happened to that? I thought we were talking
When I
about.
start reloading 357 and 38, Willie sent me a bunch of bullets, but I've got to get some brass and primers. I have probably, thousands of rifle primers, but no handgun primers. I think I've got 300 total.
Look at that.
I hate to say it, if it fits, I shoot it. If I'm out of a pistol and I have a rifle, I end up shooting it, and it works. I know it's bad. I should slap my hand, but I do it. Go ahead, Jamie. Sorry I bothered you again.
My phone's going off crazy. That's why I'm in and out. I'm getting a lot of texts and stuff. Yes, Bacon. 44 Magnum counts. It counted for Mark and Rifle, so it's got to count for you too, brother. So let me see if I can run down all the ones I do. Of course, 35, 30, 30, 30-06, 270, 8mm Mauser. I'm getting into 7.62 by 54R and 350 Legend. I did a little bit of that 358 Eagle 350 Legend. And for a friend of mine, I'm getting into 300 Blackout. So, and I don't recommend anybody that reloads load anything for a friend unless they're willing to give you their rifle so you can make the measurements that you need to make as far as the chamber and the seating depth and all that stuff. And you can go test them out. But he gave me his upper. So I told him I needed the upper. He said, here, man, keep it as long as you want. I'm not in a hurry. He just wants it, wants loads developed by hunting season in October. So I got about a month and a half. So
For whitetail.
I'm sorry. Go ahead, Echo.
Whitetail.
Yes.
Yeah, you're probably going to want to go with like 123 to 25 grain bullet, maybe like a soft point boat tail, soft point Hornady or something like that. They perform pretty well out of the 16-inch barreled gun. They stabilize well, and of course, it depends on his rifle, his rifling, what twist rate he's got. But I mean, that might be somewhere for you to start. And those are pretty common 308 bullets for light 308 rounds.
Well, I told him 150 grain because that's about as small of a bullet that I'm going to be shooting a deer with. Even in my 270, I use 150 grain bullet. Well, you know, a 30 caliber 150 grain bullet is what, about that long, but a 270 150 grain bullet is about that long. So
Yeah.
there you go.
Well, the
We're
150 gives you a good meat plat, and it gives you sufficient as long as he realizes that's a 100-yard gun at max.
Oh, he won't shoot it that far.
Yeah.
Look at all
Here's
that 30 caliber stuff, reloader 7.62, 30-30, 3300 Savage, 30-06, 7.62 by 39 and 54R. So that's pretty cool.
I forgot about the 7.62 by 39, but here's the problem, Jamie. I'm going to tell you right now. Once you get that load developed for that 300 Blackout, I think you're going to be buying a 300 Blackout barrel and building one. Trust me, you're going to love the cartridge.
Well, I've got so many 30 caliber rifles already. I really don't see the point.
You will once you start shooting it.
Well, there's GZW's list. He's got 300 Blackout, 30-30, 300 Savage. Bang, bang, bang. But I've got 30-30, 30-06, 7.62. Oh, did I say 8mm Mauser in mine? That's one thing we need to work on that together, Echo.
Yeah.
12 gauge slug. Oh, I do 223, 5.56 too. I forgot about that one. Of course, everybody does that, doesn't they?
Yeah.
Georgia boy does 357 and 44 in rifle, which is cool. I'm doing 357 in rifle now too. So
Georgia boy, you would love a 300 blackout. Trust me.
Yeah, if you're loading 308 projectiles, you might as well have a 300 blackout. It's a semi-automatic rifle. It's fairly quiet unless you're shooting the supersonic rounds. But even when you're shooting those, I mean, it's a real soft kicking gun. There's just nothing not to like.
Oh, it's a great gun for your wife, your daughter, all that. I mean, it's just a great gun. And you're already loading lead bullets for 30 cal probably, and it's just easy to slide right in. You know, you chop up 223 brass, you get on the range everywhere. Most people can find it all over the ground. And you just buy a cheap chop saw and just chop away, and away you go.
Yeah, I agree, man. Jerry said he may have missed something, one or two. That's the way I feel. And look at this list. Yeah, Paul. Paul does 357. I have no question in my mind that my wife would love my 357 lever gun. That's the reason I hadn't let her shoot it yet. I like shooting it too. Yeah. MCK, dual purpose molds. You gotta love it when you can use the same bullet in 2 or 3 guns.
Yeah,
So
Jim-
I just think single shot needs a few more. He needs a few more of those barrels he's always buying.
Oh, I talked to him. He comes up with these wild loads, and I'm like, man, I just don't think I want to hold on to that hand cannon shooting that stuff off.
He's like, he wants a 500 Jeffries bottleneck down to a 22 caliber bullet. Like
Single shot's the
5,000
nicest, man.
5,000 feet per second.
I believe that was me and Kyle Thorzak. I think Kyle was shooting my 30-30 and my hand loads. Actually, I think it was 35. We were at the indoor range. No, it was at 100 yards. Anyway. Wow. Pretty cool, Tex. Yeah, so that's pretty interesting. Talk about all the rifle you do.
What kind of workshop do you want to do, Jamie? You want to do something like on a 223 Remington cartridge, or?
Hey, Tread, welcome in. You know me, Willie, Ocean, and the Emperor did a workshop on 350 Legend a few months back. And I would like to do something like that, but instead of focusing on a particular cartridge, we'll focus on different. Everybody, like 3 or 4 of us, get together and focus on the different types of presses. Like I'll do the Lee Breach Lock Pro, or I can do the T7. We'll get Squatch to do his 750. You know, each one of us take a different press or a different style of press, and focus on again the beginning reloader, and just show how the different presses work and what you can expect to get out of it.
Sorry, my wife's home. You shut the door. But like Squat Pit, I would never sell my first press. Rock Chucker. That's single stage is the way to go in the beginning. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off, Echo.
Oh, no worries, brother. I was just giving Jamie a heads up. We got 6 minutes before we're on the 2-hour mark. I just wanted to remind you.
Yeah, we were a little late getting started, so
I was unaware.
we can start winding it up if y'all want. Yes, they are.
I've been trying to get one, but haven't had any luck yet.
Yeah.
What was that? I missed it.
Thorzak saying we need to get a 550 drive for Willie.
Yeah, no, it's okay.
Dead Horse, I am just about to start 7.62 by 54R. And me and Mark and I talked about that a good bit this week. He was looking for some load data for a cast lead 155 grain, wasn't it, Mark? Mark, have you spaced out on us again, dude?
Let me see if I got anything in my old lineman book.
Let me tell you something. I've shot treads 444 Marlin. I'm going to tell you something. That hurts. And you're talking to a guy that can shoot 100 rounds of 12 gauge in an afternoon. I hunt with 30-06 and 270 most of the time. So I'm no stranger to recoil, but 444 Marlin on July 4th in just a t-shirt hurts. Yeah, Mark's froze up.
Yeah, he hasn't moved in a little bit or said anything.
Or he's in deep thought, one or the other.
Right, I guess we might as well.
Come on. Come on.
Sorry, my wife came in.
Come on.
We might as well start going through the room. That 277 Wolverine intrigues me too, Tread. Because I have a 270. And there I go. I got 30-06 and 30-30. So what would be the difference in a 300 blackout and a 277 Wolverine except for the bullet diameter that I'm using? So there you go. All right, so let's start going through the room and talking about what we got coming up. And Echo stepped away, so Squatch, what's your next big project, buddy?
Well, you know, with components and primers and stuff, it's kind of hard to come by right now. I got a couple lines on some small pistol primers, but I've got enough stuff loaded right now where I'm feeling pretty comfortable as far as for my personal use. I got all my competition stuff done, but here in Ohio, everything's getting canceled for the most part, but there's some stuff opening up. But some things I'm going to be working on here. I'm going to be working on my Dillon here in the next week. I'm going to switch out the strong mount with some inline fab stuff because I'm working on building a new bench and kind of moving my room where it's at right now. And I want to get a smaller bench to kind of consolidate all my presses and be able to move them around. So that's kind of what I got coming up here in the near future, just doing some, not necessarily upgrades, but some works to make what I got a little bit more efficient. So I'm going to be doing some videos on some of that stuff for some of the guys that are interested in the different mounts and things for presses. But and I got a giveaway coming up. Ward over at Dramworks sent me a hopper to give out to some of the guys that follow on the channel. So if any of you guys haven't seen my latest video, go check that out and get yourself entered to win a Dramworks hopper. So it's pretty cool. So that's all I got right now. And as far as that workshop doing the XL 750, be more than happy to jump in on that, and we could work it through start to finish, from caliber conversion to die setup, whatever you guys want to do. I'm in as usual. So again, it was a pleasure being here.
Great. Thanks for joining us, man. So that'll be interesting, 6-shooter Texan. I've always wanted to do cowboy action shooting. There's not a lot of it around here in Georgia, but it seems kind of expensive to get into when you're talking about 2 single action revolvers, a lever gun, and a shotgun. So, okay, Echo, what you got coming up, bud?
Well, I'm going to be doing some shooting, some 223 on Sunday. And basically, I will be doing another video on cleaning the AR-15 for new AR-15 owners. And Jamie, I came across my 1970s Lyman 7.62 by 54 rimmed Russian. I've got data on lead cast bullets with gas checks, so get with me on that.
Will do, man.
Cool.
Will do.
Yes, sir.
A 6-shooter Texan. Man, y'all are blowing me up. I've been wanting one of those stage shotguns for a long time. Y'all know the ones I'm talking about? Side by
Yes,
side
sir.
double barrels with 20-inch
Yeah.
barrels. Man, that's just, yeah. And if I had had the old rabbit ear kind, man, that'd be way cool. I guess you gotta have that kind. Willie, what are you coming up with?
Well, this weekend's my grandson's 2nd birthday, so I get to go to a party there. But today was a sad news. Today was my 1-year mark for my amputation. Yay! It's all over with. I went in and signed my leg away, and now I'm an amputee. Yay! But I'm alive, so it's all good. I'm just sounding bitter, sorry. But that's it. Just a birthday party. I'm going to have some fun with my grandson, get to see him, and figure out some. Oh, well, I'll show off what I did to you. I showed you earlier on the after chat.
So, I know, right? Get off of my lawn. So those greeners, Charlie, they don't give them things away, brother. They think a lot of them things these days. So, yeah. And Mark, can you tell us what you got going on?
I'm going to do hunting gear check, 44 Magnum, muzzle loader. I'm going to try my luck archery with a crossbow this year, and just getting ready for hunting season. It's coming up quick. I'd like to spend more time doing that this year than I have the last couple. That's about all I got.
I hope you do, man. I hope you do. The hunting season is my favorite time of the year, as I've shared with y'all many times on our live streams. I take my Bible app in my phone. I climb up in my deer stand, my tree stand before, good night, JCM. Climb up in my tree stand before daylight. And I sit there and pray and read my Bible and then watch God's creation come to life in the morning. And I just don't believe you can watch that and be an atheist. I just don't. I could be wrong. I am many times, but I've got to do an unboxing video. I've got boxes from Willie Bullet Man, from Light Bag Resources, if y'all remember him, and a big old heavy box over there from CW Longshot. And got a box from Mark MCK I'm going to put in there too. And so y'all kind of, yeah, y'all kind of be looking for that. No, James, main thing I pray for deer hunting is that everybody makes it out of the woods and back home safe and sound. And if the Lord provides a harvest, we'll be grateful for that.
Amen, brother.
Amen.
And that's that.
Charles.
Charlie. All right, so we took up enough of y'all's Friday night, guys. Thank y'all all so much for joining us. Check us out on Instagram, Georgia Shooting Connection. If you need to get in touch with us, you can get in touch with us at on Discord individually, or you can get in touch with us at georgiashootingconnection@gmail.com. And soon coming is a Facebook page. And we hope to be able to finagle it around so that we can also do our live streams on Facebook Live. So that'll take some money and some doing, and I don't know if we'll be able to do that or not. So good night, guys. I hope God blesses y'all real good, and Lord willing, we'll see y'all all back again next Friday night. So we're in touch, y'all.